Sending mass emails is an easy task in Sage CRM, and in this tutorial, we'll show you how it's done. There are 5 general steps to the process. Setting up an email alias allows you to send an email from an account such as marketing@panopolytech.com rather than using the sender's actual account. It's not required, but it is common to do this in email marketing. Creating a template is recommended because it makes the email easy to retrieve for reuse or modification. You'll need a recipient list which you can create using either the Finder or Groups functionality. If you want to track the mass email as part of a marketing campaign, then you'll need to create a wave activity. And the final step is to send the mass email from within Sage CRM. In previous tutorials, we've covered steps 2, 3, and 4, so we won't cover these in detail here, but we do recommend that you take a look at these videos as well. So now let's jump in and get started with step 1, setting up an email alias. To do this, we'll go to Administration, Email and Documents, Email Aliases, and click New. For our example, we'll send the mass email using our marketing@panopolytech.com address, which we'll enter here. The display name is the name the recipient will see in the From field when the email is received, and we've entered Panopoly Tech Marketing. Let's enable this as a From address by checking the box. You can restrict use of this address by team and individual users, but for our example, we'll forego any restrictions. And now we'll click Save. And one last note on aliases. You may need to do some configuration of your company's email accounts to allow them to work in your IT environment. As we mentioned earlier, the next steps, creating a template, building your recipient list, and setting up a marketing wave activity, were covered in previous tutorials. Accordingly, we won't cover these steps here, but again, we do recommend that you view the videos that cover these topics. So now let's assume that we've completed steps 2, 3, and 4, and now we're ready to actually send the email. We have 2 options available. The first is to use the Finder, and we want to search by person. Let's search for contacts in Atlanta using the city field. Notice that after hitting Find, an Actions panel appears that includes an email button, and clicking this button opens the mass email screen. The other option for sending mass emails involves groups, and you ultimately arrive at this same screen if you use the groups method. The reason you might choose the group method over the Finder method is that groups provide greater flexibility for creating your recipient list. So now let's hit Cancel and look at the group method by going to My CRM, then the Groups tab. We'll choose an existing group, and before we click, note that the entity for this group is Person. Now let's open the group, and notice that similar to the Finder, we have an Actions panel that includes an email button. Let's walk through the fields on this screen, starting with Dedupe against Other Group. Using this field, you can exclude from the mass email members of the group you select here if they overlap with the current group. Now moving to templates. As we mentioned, you don't have to use a template. You can create your email message below and use the formatting toolbar to pretty things up. But again, we do recommend using templates. We'll select our New Product Releases template and the screen refreshes. To let you view the message, we'll go ahead and scroll down a bit, and we'll click the arrow here to collapse the toolbar. Note that you can make edits here to the message without affecting the original template. Now let's move to the From field, and this is where the email alias comes into play. We're logged in as Susan May, so we could send the email using her account, but instead we're going to use the marketing email account that we created earlier. The template we selected has a pre-filled subject line, which you can edit here as necessary. Now we'll scroll down further and notice that below the message, you can upload attachments from the global document library or from your local computer. Under the Communication Options panel, these selections are configured automatically, but you can amend them as necessary. We mentioned earlier about including the mass email in a marketing campaign, and the Wave Activity field is where we make that association. We'll take a shortcut to find the wave activity by entering %, which means contains, and we'll type email, then hit the finder and make our selection. The parent category selection field refers to key attributes. If you select emails here, then a link to every recipient of the email will be stored in the system that can be used for follow-up actions. For more information about key attributes, we recommend viewing the video on this subject. Now let's scroll over and back to the top, and before launching the email, we have the opportunity to do a final proofing by sending it to ourselves. So let's click the Send Yourself Test button. Now let's open Outlook, and we'll hit Send Receive, and here's the email. And notice that it uses the Panoply Tech marketing alias that we set up as the from name. Also, note that the proof will not insert a name into the person's first name merge field since we sent it to ourselves and we are a user record, not a person record in Sage CRM. Therefore, as expected, the merge field won't show our name. Everything looks good, so let's close the email and Outlook and return to Sage CRM. Now we'll initiate the mass email by clicking the Send button. We're presented with a confirmation message and we'll click OK to continue. And we can monitor the progress by going to Marketing, then the Mass Email Status tab. Here you can see the number of emails sent, which continuously updates on the screen until the mailing is complete. Let's now open Outlook and we'll log in as one of the recipients, Simon Yoltoy, and take a look at the received email. And there it appeared before we could hit Send Receive, and opening it, we can see that Simon's name was merged correctly into the greeting and the email message appears as intended. And going back to Sage CRM, if we jump to Simon's record using the recent list, we should find the email under his Communication tab. We'll open it, and by clicking the link at the top, we can see all of the recipients of the email. And with that, we've completed the steps for sending mass emails from Sage CRM. So to recap, Sage CRM provides you the tools to send mass emails, and we encourage you to use this powerful feature for marketing to your customers and prospects. Give us a call if you need assistance with this or any other feature in Sage CRM. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Bye for now.